Hey everybody, we're back for some more, even more Banishers Goes to New Eden. It's been 4 streams in a row. Well, this will make it the 4th stream in a row. Anyway, yeah, I was gonna do Alone in the Dark today, but to be honest, we're pretty close to the end of Banishers, and I didn't really want to wait until next week, and you know, had to figure out a schedule for it and all that kind of stuff. So instead, we are gonna move ahead with Banishers and just finish it today. The camera behaved so weird there. Okay now. Okay. What's the stutter when... Anyway, it seems okay now. Right, anyway, jump in. So, last stream, we, the last stream? We were doing all of the side quests, basically. All of the side cases are now taken care of, and I have found some gear that I'm happy with now, and I'm actually just going to go finish that off, upgrading all of it. I'm pretty happy with where we're at. I fairly locked us into this gun. Sweeper. That gives you banish points every time you hit an enemy with the gun. And then I've gone with this for the armor. The exile or retire. Hitting an enemy with the rifle increases the damage of the next manifestation. So not only do we get more damage from the manifestations, we're getting more banish points as well with the gun. Damage dealt by red is increased by against enemies that have full health. So red does 60% more damage if they are at full health. Banish point gains are increased, so it's not just 15 banish points, it's 18 banish points instead. Defeating an enemy with Antea, 15 banish points. Punch attack area of effect size goes up, which is an interesting one. I don't know how your punch area of effect goes up. Hitting an enemy with a manifestation grants banish points, and again with the 20% on top. More of that. And then this is an interesting one. So your manifestations will now actually consume health, but they'll do more damage. I think I got a new brooch. Last. Wasn't a brooch. Oh, maybe that is the one that I changed to. It was a ring? No, okay, it must have been that amulet I put on. Anyway, I'm just gonna upgrade these as far as I can. Okay, sword is all the way up. Armor. I have all of the stuff that I can do this. If we don't, I will just go to Seeker and buy the rest of it. This was an interesting one. I didn't realize that Nova Scotia was Nova Scotian, as in New Scot. Like, it's essentially New Scotland. I didn't know that. It's an interesting one. I don't know what I thought it was. Not that, anyway. Okay. Jewels. Running out of nest silt. We're officially out of nest silt, so I need at least one nest silt to move that along. Nest silt as well, so now I need 2 nest silt. Okay, so we'll go to Seeker. I mean, we have to go there anyway. That's where the game ends, on the same plot. On the same plot of land. It's on the island in the middle of the map. I think it's fitting that Red has his Scots tartar sauce. It's probably not his family's tartan, but still. It's a kilt, close enough. Okay, so we have to jump into that void, start the end of the game. I'm gonna go max out all of our gear first, because I don't know if we'll get a chance to do it again. And even if we do, I don't think we're gonna get a chance to get those resources. We need 2 nest silt, at least. Hopefully I don't have to come back here to buy more stuff.
What do you want?
Anything interesting you'd trade with a Banisher?
Say for yourself.
Buy 2. 2. Oh. There we go, 2.
We'll be going. Hope to talk again soon.
Oh wait, no, I don't. I need
Sure.
3, don't I? I think I need 3, hang on. To see how far I get with that. Though annoyingly, you can't change your equipment. That includes... Actually, does it include upgrading? I've never really bothered with the upgrading because I've always been waiting to see if I'd get something better and then put all of my stuff into that instead. Yeah, you do. You need to be at a shelter. But at this point, we have every piece of equipment you're going to get in the game, so I've narrowed it down to the stuff I'm wearing as stuff is that I'm happy with. I got rid of the one that was, more damage if your manifestations are on cooldown because it just doesn't happen often enough. We'd only be getting at best maybe like a 10%. Better go for something that I can rely on a bit more. Okay, I did. Yeah, I needed 3. Fuck. I see what this is. Okay, so it's just a single nest silt. Otherwise, I've done everything else on the map. The only thing I haven't done is go look around for the rest of the soul catchers, and there's a couple of files and documents and stuff that I haven't found yet, but 1, I will do that after we finish the game, and 2, I've collected enough of those soul catcher things for the trophy associated with them. Don't actually have to find all of them.
What do you want?
Anything interesting?
Say for yourself.
Do just the 1.
We'll be going. Hope to talk again.
Sure.
Shh. Everybody be quiet. Okay. And then the last thing required is a couple of combat specific things. It's like parry this many enemies in one fight kind of thing that I'm not particularly great at parrying, so that obviously hasn't happened. But I can find a fight with a decent number of enemies in it, I can probably make it up. I haven't been going out of my way to make them happen. I haven't been going out of my way to make any of the combat ones happen, they just sort of have happened. There was one that was like very involved. It was like defeat 4 enemies with red, defeat 4 enemies with Antea all in the same fight. And I did, and I wasn't actually trying to do it. Alright. Let's have everything be a relic. Okay. I'll go over the missing trophies for anyone interested, like myself. I'll go over the missing ones once we're done. Once we're in the credits. Once we're past the credits, rather, we'll have a look at it. Okay. Save here so I can use this for after. The game does not. The game does not have a post-game access to the map.
Wait. This is it, isn't it?
And ask. We still don't really know how they're able to touch each other. It's something to do with his tattoos and his rings or whatever.
You always think you have more time, and suddenly you don't.
Do you ever wonder how things would have gone if we'd never come here?
Never. Do you?
Sometimes.
I think about our last morning in Oporto, of our tiny room overlooking the fish market.
A horrendously loud fish market.
You slept soundly in my arms as I lay listening to the clamor. I watched those curtains blow through the window for hours, or so it felt. I think of that moment often. That instant suspended in time, before Charles's letter found us.
We were glad to hear from our friend, and buoyed by our latest success.
The ghost blew up the Duke's wine cellar, but we got the job done.
Ah.
I had a good life. We had a good life.
I'm gonna miss you so very much.
There's much to do between here and goodbye. Let's go do it.
You're the one who wanted to stop.
For standing by my side through it all. For everything. Into the fray then.
Always.
They had to Americanize or Puritanize the kilt a
What is
little
it?
bit. He's not nude under it.
Baggage I may need to finally face. Let's press on.
Nice. Presumably we're going to be facing whatever voice has been calling out to Antea this whole time. I'm pretty sure is her sister. Or a very close friend who she considered a sister, I think is technically.
Stay watchful. Spectres are still drawn to you.
Oh, brilliant.
Why though? It's because I'm my raw sexual magnetism. The shorts under the kilt are very silly, but
You
whatever.
chose the schoolhouse too.
Of course. Our last night together.
I knew it. And now the question is, how do we reach it?
That's a pretty cool shot. In fact, it's cool enough that they gave us a prompt for it. No, it's just a drop down. Down. Good shot.
I like your doll. What are you doing?
This is Aleja. She is a witch, and she is running away from the Spanish soldiers. She had a horse, but he died. He was an old friend.
Maybe we can build her a raft.
I'm Anthea. What's your name?
To hell with that.
Was that an echo? In the void?
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
No, not even like professional curiosity. Yes. Why have we stopped? No? I'm gonna go this way. Okay. Now I'm gonna go this way instead. Okay, you know what? Let's just go. You first. Ladies first. Don't say I'm not being chivalrous.
What the?
Ugh. Slight problem, I tell you. We can't go that way either.
Patience, Anthea. You know that we have to be twice as good as them to get half of what they have. I can't stand anymore.
I love doing that.
I think your mother is jealous of you.
I'm better than she was a mage. Of course she is.
We could train in secret. Practice when she's not looking.
These are memories from my childhood. But why here?
We're gonna find out that this sister or whatever was guys or something, or whatever that person we found at Lime Manor was, whatever her deal was.
Sharpen up. This isn't over yet.
Okay, sling and I don't know what the other thing is. Harmonica. Oh, it's a harmonica.
Over there, a passageway.
The paths form and reform. Your passageway's already gone.
This place has a plan for us, and I suspect we may not like it.
It's just us here and there.
Damn it!
The void centers in on us. Perhaps you've been thinking about your past and memories are manifesting.
Or the other way around.
What? Memories are manifesting and forcing you to think of your past?
Try another one. Standing by.
God, you're tougher than I can.
Rory,
Tell me,
Calendre is here.
your childhood friend is here.
What passed for my friend?
Right. We leave now. You explain later.
Okay, I think we are getting the idea that she's some kind of, I don't know, demon type thing.
Mama? Mama!
It's just a game.
What's going on?
She's on fire.
Go on. Burn them. Burn her.
What are you?
Our house burned. But we lived. I banished her without knowing how. Back then, I didn't know what she was. It's here. Leading us somewhere we don't want to go.
Free yourself, Antea. Let the fire melt your shackles.
Careful, Red. It's close.
You don't say.
Easy as pie.
Nah, but you can't cook.
Bring enough of these guys?
Right, this on for some.
Stay, Antea. Stay and play with me.
Oh.
I feel like I'm being led by the nose.
It's playing with us. Wants us to feel powerless.
You just do a circle? Feels like it.
I'll feast on your soul.
Alright, well you've kind of dropped the whole... You're just gone full demon now, okay.
Once. Never again. Never again. Come and play, Antea. Come and play. You will never leave this place.
Does she not know that Red is here?
You can't go round the fire. You must go through.
Poor little Antea. All alone. No one to play with. No one to talk to. Poor little Antea. Gifted and talented. constricted, bound, abandoned.
Go to hell.
There already. Well, physics still seems to work. Can I even rest here? Okay. No fast traveling. We didn't quite make it to level 25, which is a little annoying, but again, I will do that afterwards.
Look at you now. Look at you dead. Clinging to some pitiful soul in a hopeless search for meaning. Thank you, Rory McGrath, for bringing her to me.
Remember the rumbles, Red.
Welcome.
Remember Abigail. Don't indulge it.
You'll soon be mine. Your voice, your soul, everything.
Damn you. You want to play, Calendre? Fine. Let's play.
You said don't indulge it. Do as I say, not as I do. Surprise!
At last you visit Calendre. Your bestest friend.
We are not friends. And your name is not Calendre.
Perhaps I should name myself by what called me to you. Your weariness? Your solitude? Your arrogance?
There are more of you, aren't there? So what's a manipulative demon like you doing in the void? Why aren't you out in the incarnate world?
Ask her. Ask Antea. The only one who ever cared for you. Or ever will. Because she sent me here. Because she banished me. Tell me, Rory of the clan McGrath, when you realize you hardly know the woman you love, how does it feel to learn, after all these years together, these things she never deigned to tell you?
Everyone has secrets.
These things that sit brooding at the very center of her soul.
My love for her is unconditional.
But is hers?
Why'd you lead us here? What do you want from us?
Don't humor it, Rory.
Careful now.
But content.
The idea of tearing your precious little pet into pieces just became much more appealing. I'd hate for you to get hurt so fast while you try to save him. But, oh wait, you already did that, didn't you?
That's enough from both of you. For years, I would not shoulder the weight of what I did. I would not face my regrets. I would not wear my guilt. My home burned to the ground. My face was marked forever. When I look in the mirror, I think of you. I fled the family I'd nearly killed. I buried my true feelings in hate for you. No more. I loved you once. You were my sister. You were my soul. But I understand now that you were born of all this darkness, that you thrive on it. And because of this, I forgive you. I forgive Calendre for being nothing but a mirror. And I forgive myself for not knowing better.
And you, Rory McGrath? Can you forgive her for leaving you alone and unloved and haunted only by her memory.
I don't need you. I never did. Your tricks don't work on me. Not anymore.
I shall not let you go. No, this is my realm now. You sent me here. And now that you have joined me, I shall feed.
Then you are still a fool.
Antea, Antea. Such a clever girl. So good with words of power. Is that how you seduced your little pet here?
My name is Nezuko, and I am the relentless servant of the Queen of Kar.
The hell?
Come, stay a while. Stay forever.
Stay a while and loot things.
As stubborn as you are.
Ah, really, ads? But you were better than that.
Alright, that's cheating.
We must focus on the sorrow. Then we can end this.
Huh? Oh. The map must move around at some point.
You're so predictable. I will reap your soul this time.
Running away, are we?
Smash, 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 smash. Get over there to the tornado looking thing.
Full pants.
Do I have to... Okay, do I have to fight them first?
I will reap your soul this time. As stubborn as you are.
I'm stuck. I continue to be stuck.
I was a child when I beat you, remember?
You know, I kind of... It would have been good if the game lent into this stuff more. Because the ghosts got a bit samey after a while. If they had gone in on the demon stuff as well, that would have been pretty good.
You're so predictable. My rules.
I'm stronger and faster.
I'll get to that.
Destroy you.
Boing.
Almost there.
Quit teleporting. I'm trying to banish you.
There's a tough one.
Bye.
That was something.
I never told you the full story. I'm sorry.
No need.
Please, let's get out of here.
So I did hit level 25 after all.
We're here.
Onwards. Let's get this over with.
In the fires of Mount Doom.
Is the entire town lost to Ivy? Her influence must still be strong.
So we don't have to do the Ivy puzzle. Doesn't look like there's no new resources you can get here, which obviously makes sense since you wouldn't be able to use them. Whole lake bed. Or is the coast, or is sorry, the tide has just receded really far?
But as Charles would say, another day, another soul to save.
These people have no idea what they're up against. We really had no idea what we were walking into.
If I had taken the threat seriously, then you might be alive.
All that matters now is that you give me my assent.
It's so long since we've actually been here that I can't even tell if it's the same map. Plus we were gone for like 6 months or something. Or like when Red fell off the cliff and him waking up, I think it was like 6 months. Something like that. No, 6 months seems long. It wasn't the next day anyway, it was a while.
heart's yours. The roots are mine.
Hey. One. Log, New Edentown Harbour Dockage, Possible London, The Blessing, The Mary, The Pilgrim, The Adventure of Boston, The Seaflower, The Two Sisters, White Rock of Boston, The Dove, The Samson, The John's Adventure, The Blessing again, Bristol Merchant, Tebble Crown. Tebble Crown? Should be Treble Crown, no? Apollo, The Greenway, The Hope. The Hope's the one we came in on? Okay, there's two. Possibly three? Close. All a bit close to each other. Let's clear the space a little. Oh, fuck you.
This isn't over yet. Watch out. Spectre possession.
I feel like I should have upgraded my equipment a long time ago. These guys are going down really easy now. Just been keeping everything at level 4 or level 5. The cap is level 7.
Would you a lecture on the sanctity of marriage?
A pretty word for a set of shackles.
I'm sure folk here are just as open-minded as Charles.
We were so in love.
We are in love.
With no condition. To the very end.
Aye. The very end.
No food here. Go away. I ate it all. There's none left. Why is the torchlight so weird? Very red.
Have some of this.
Pottage of venison. Take a haunch of venison, cut it into 6 pieces, place them in the bottom of a saucepan or pot, then put in water to the brim, let it boil, then skim, then add a good amount of pepper. It sounds awful. When it is half boiled, add 4 whole onions, cloves, nutmeg, 3 or 4 bundles of sweet herbs. Let it boil until the venison is very tender and the broth has reduced. After that, reserve the meat broth. Keep your venison hot in the same pot by adding hot water. Are you taking it out all together? Okay. And take 2 roots of red beets, which you will have bodied well before. No, bodied. Body those beets, which you will have boiled well before. Cut them into square pieces about the size of a shilling. Put them into the new broth of your beet and let them cook until they are tender. Add to the boiling 4 chopped anchovies. Gross. Salty as fuck. Then pour in your stock, set aside until it neatly fills the dish. Then take your beetroots alone, mix them in a little drawn butter, and arrange them over the venison. If the beets are good, they will make the broth quite red. Okay, sounds awful. Letter from Philippa. My dear Prudence, I must thank you for your last letter, which was well received. How surprised I was that it included the announcement of your marriage to the lucky Mr. Hake. Of course, I imagine that Mr. Hake is a man of education and intelligence, and I wish you the happiest of marriages. Long live the bride and groom. I understand now why you stayed so long in the New World. In your job as the captain's cook in this new union, you must feel fulfilled and contented. I also note that as a married woman in a respected position, you are now blameless in your community. If ever a woman is suspected of wrongdoing, it won't be you. Valuable asset in uncertain times. Wow, okay. Commend you for your passion and commitment and look forward to your next letter. As always, Philippa. There's Philippa. I've been in New Eden for several weeks now. In that time, I have deepened my acquaintance with some of my companions and have learned much about those within the colony who appear to have position. Captain Pennington, of whom I have spoken before, leads the local militia. A veteran of several wars, he is, as you would expect, something of an authoritarian. This is vinegar, as the saying goes. Excuse my using such vulgarity, but he is capable. The trained band respect him, and most of the men of an age to serve do so. Governor Fairfax Haskell has, for example, his man of faith, to the manner born. He seems well enough respected by his people and maintains a cordial and reciprocal relationship with the establishment in London. A widower, I believe, he has one son, Lamentation, strange boy. While he lacks his father's charisma, seems smart enough. Also well respected in the colony is the minister, one Charles Davenport, who died at the very beginning of the game. He's amiable and peaceful. In turbulent times, one might imagine him opposing the Hawks. I shall go to him for guidance whenever the opportunity presents. There are others, a wild woman known by Thick Skin, keeps mostly to the woods, her waif-like younger sister, who is something of a naif. Waif and a naif, okay. The colony lacks a blacksmith, but one is hired. I shall tell you of him when he arrives. There, my dear Pippa, all the gossip which I shall bore you for today. Prudence was, as we knew, a spy for the French. Yes, this is her house when they lived here. Ford blueprint, white pine, which give yellow birch. Is it strong enough? Red oak, way too heavy. I'm gonna figure out what to make the notice board out of, and I can't go there. Okay, not sure why this room was available to get into. Here we are.
Try this on for size.
What I'm trying to do is find how to get to that campfire. See a way. I imagine the game will give us access to it before the last fight. End of August, 16990. Governor Fairhouse Haskell proclaimed Flora Abbott winner of the New Eden hunting contest with an exceptional wild turkey trophy of £27, dethroning the usual winner, Teddy, for the first time in 5 years of competition. As a reward, Flora Abbott received the honour of title of Best Hunter of New Eden and the modest sum of 150 shillings. It's not that modest, it's actually quite a lot of money. Miss Flora Abbott is free to dispense with her trophy as she wishes. 13th of April, 169-1. Borough of Lynn, Colony of Massachusetts. Alexander Law of Boston hath bought of Flora Abbott of Lynn 5 acres of land and the dwelling, barn, well, and fruit trees thereon, lying in the Commons Field on the west side of the town of Lynn, between the land of Farmer Eaton on the north side and Captain Miles Standish on the south, for a valuable consideration agreed on between them. Okay, so she has some land? Massachusetts somewhere? Landon Dutton of New Eden sells to Flora Abbott of Lynn in the colony of Massachusetts 2.5 acres of land, including a dwelling. She has some real estate holdings. And I don't think it's the area we found her in. I'm not sure if we had access to these houses at the start of the game.
Hogging all the fun.
I see a light.
How? Should Esther still be here?
Esther was, she is still here, wow. She was the person we first helped with the haunting. Charles Davenport's wife.
Oh, there? Anybody home?
Red, why must you call everyone a hoe? It's not very nice. And this is an interval or a study of the Aeolian scale by Heinrich P. I think we read all of these when we were here last. Literally the same one. I remember it. Esther? Shouldn't be seeing Charles. We sent Charles on his way. Answer?
Esther?
Rory? Are you a dream?
No. I know I just look like one.
Are you here? Are you really here?
I am. We are. Have you been here alone all this time?
No, not alone. Charles visits from time to time. We talk.
That's not Charles. Charlie had his ascent. Do you remember?
Oh yes, I remember. It's all very foggy. Do we ever mend the wounds of true love lost?
Esther, do you know me?
Antea? Yes, I know you. You come to Red as Charles comes to me. How very good of you.
Dearest Esther, I died. I am a ghost.
You know, I'd have liked to join your games. You three. Chasing ghosts and whatnot. I learn fast.
Esther, two of us are dead.
But not today. Today feels like a dream.
What's happened in New Eden while we were gone?
Oh, everyone left. I did not wish to join them. She let me stay.
She? Deborah?
Speak not her name. It makes her angry. She is much more powerful now, and your return has already vexed her.
We're here for Antea's body. This is her tie. And the nightmare has it.
Yes. By her body she is held hostage. Her flesh is her tie. Charles told me all about it.
We must break the tie to set Antea free.
She won't surrender it. You'll have to end her. But if she goes, then Charles goes too.
This is already gone, love.
I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
We're not here to vex her, nor to attack her. Antea just wants what's hers.
Last time, Red McWraith, you escaped with your life. Do you think she'll let you do it again?
I'm rather hoping she will, aye. She knew I'd come back. What else was I gonna do?
Which of us has choice when free will is a lie? None has choice. Each is another's glimmer of hope.
I mean, I could have chose to not keep playing the game.
Futile in the darkness.
What's going on up at the meeting house?
I do not ask about the meeting house, and nor should you. To think that once we worshipped there, that Charles would give his sermons there. There of all places.
What awaits us in the meeting house?
You know. You know who awaits you there. behind the eerie overgrowth. The meeting house is her garden now. Her hate is deeply rooted.
Yeah, she's taking that a little too
climbing,
seriously,
crawling
no?
creepers reach out across the land.
Or
Like
not
the
seriously,
tree of
she's taking that a
blood
little
that
too
grows
literally.
from out your heart.
All things good and bad have their end. The meeting house is just a place. We'll go there and find a finish.
Wax
You're
finish.
a brave and gentle soul, Red
Be a
McGregor.
mass finish.
I shall remember
Gloss?
you when you're gone. If remember I still can.
Can we speak of Deborah?
Don't say her name. She'll hear you. She'll hear our thoughts.
Let her.
She, I think
not
she.
to be feared.
I don't think she needs to hear my thoughts to know what I'm
Truth
thinking.
is freedom. There's no ending to the story until the truth is told.
Red, you are a dear, dear friend. But there is no truth that does not look like a nightmare. And the difference between the two cannot be told.
I am a ghost, and ghosts do not dream. This is real. We are here, and so are you. I promise you.
Perhaps none of it is real. Perhaps it is all her dream.
It's a ye olde Matrix.
Perhaps this is the curse.
Aye. And maybe life's a dream, but hell's balls, I hope not.
New Eden was a dream, you know. A dream of heaven shared by we, its people. But we seem to have brought the nightmare with us.
Nothing stands against the truth, and even a nightmare's power must have its limit.
And what if the limit is the frontier of New Eden? What if here she is all powerful and there is no escape?
You wouldn't have been able
What
to get
will
this far.
pass will pass. And if it does, and we are free, what will you do?
I'll away back to London. New Eden is lost now and for centuries to come.
Well, good chat, Esther.
Goodbye, Esther. Perhaps we'll meet again.
Perhaps we shall. It's so very pleasant to speak to new old friends. From time to time. To time.
Right. Shortcuts allowed.
It breaks my heart to see her this way.
This is the nightmare's doing.
We need to be careful. We're in her stronghold now.
Lads, hanging out. Night on the town for the lads.
Die, you bastard!
Curfew. And hours of darkness stay in your homes. No discord, no turmoil. Governor Haskell. Path to the meeting house is closed. Governor's decree. Cemetery is closed. Order of the governor. Yeah. Stocks. Gallows. Sure we needed that in Puritan times, so here we are.
You're done.
Pigskin's unsent letter. Kate, you know I'm not good with words, but I want to tell you something, and since I can't talk to you, maybe I can write it down. I see that you have changed since the execution of Deborah Comenius. I can see that you are not well, and I won't ask you why, because I know you won't tell me. But you have to pull yourself together. You have to be strong, otherwise you won't survive in this world. I know our relationship has changed, and I know I'm not the best at expressing feelings, but you're my little sister, and I care about you. Do anything to keep you close to me. I want to help you, Kate, so let me do it. Oh, we saw how that worked out. Letter from the newsmith's father, 8th of September 1688. Dear Catherine, glad to know your sister is teaching you to shoot. I know she can be a little tough sometimes, but give her a chance. You know she has a thick skin, and I doubt that will change. Your sister changed drastically when your mom got sick. She suffered a lot during all those years, you know? Yeah, I imagine you pushed all the parenting onto her. You don't remember it because you were still a child, and we wanted to protect you, but your sister, despite her young age, took a lot on herself to take care of you and the farm while I took care of your mother. I know she wanted to go to school, and why not get an education? But I asked her to stay and help me. Of course you did, dickhead. And I still feel bad about it. Oh, you feel bad, do you? She didn't have the choice to do what she wanted to do with her life. Yeah, because of you. Do it for me, will you? Our relationship has always been complicated. I would like it to be the other way around for you. I'd like you to get along with your sister. She never talks about it, but she has suffered a lot. Maybe one day you will be able to break through her shell. Father loves you. Another letter from the newsmith's father. This is earlier, I think. The last letter about this woman's execution frightened me. No one has the right to life or death. No one has the right to be above our Lord. We all make mistakes, but the one who decides to punish the guilty party by taking away their life is not much better than them. Who are we to pretend to play God? I thought the New World would bring its share of modernity. Obviously, we did well to stay in England. We are too old for this kind of adventure anyway. I know that I have always been strongly opposed to the death penalty, but the more time passes, the more the people with whom I discuss this subject change their minds. People change, Catherine. You have to believe me. No, they don't. Just become more themselves. One day, I'm sure the world will become a better place. Still waiting on that one. I don't know if we will see it, but you, my daughter, will be part of that new world. You are already there. Take advantage of this new beginning to bring new ideas to make your voice heard. You know you can be strong as your sister sometimes, so come out of the shadows and dare to fight for what you believe in. Stop comparing her to her sister. That's what she doesn't like. Letter from the newsmith's father, 1690. This is after those two. Dear Catherine, why is he only sending letters to... Anyway. We had to sell 3 goats last month. The winter was hard on our crops. We had few crops and we didn't have enough money to buy food for the whole winter. Your mother is sad. You know how much she cared about her goats. After all, we had them for 10 years. All them being born, but they were starting to get aggressive with each other. Also, they were giving us less and less milk. Guess the man who bought them from us will slaughter them. I haven't told your mother, but I'm going to see about buying a goat this summer if we can afford it. Maybe that will cheer her up. On a completely different subject, your cousin met a woman, Mary. She's a seamstress and has just moved in with her aunt, old Webley, to keep her company and help her in her old age. She's charming, they fit well together. We hope for an engagement soon. Literally said you just met, she just met. They just met, whatever. This is where I wonder when we will receive a wedding invitation. Oh, fuck off, Dad. We know that your sister will probably never get married, she told us so many times. You have all the qualities to be a good wife. This fucking guy. Is there no young man in the New World who appeals to you? You should think about it. You are not young. You are not young anymore. And we're getting older by the day. Wow. Dickhead. Don't think she's even 30 yet. Anyway. Letter from the mother, 1690s. This is after all of those ones. My darling girls, it's been a few weeks since I've heard from you. I hope that everything is going well. A few weeks? What is the turnaround time on letters? Do they write each other every time they get a new letter? The old world has not changed. Old Everton died 2 days ago. Simple death, peaceful one in his sleep. Don't know if you remember him, but you used to feed his chickens when you were children. You loved it. Funeral's in a few days, but I don't think there will be many people there, unfortunately. You know how lonely he was. On a happier note, your cousin is getting engaged. It was January of the same year. Jesus Christ. Getting engaged soon with Mary. She's such a lovely girl. They may move to York because Mary wants to open her own store, and your cousin will certainly find more work in town. We would have loved to have you at his wedding. Perhaps he will come back soon. That's news. Mother and brother embrace you. Sorry, father and brother embrace you. Your mother who loves you. Come back soon on a voyage that is almost guaranteed to kill me. Why would I do that? Okay, Okay, maybe it's not guaranteed to kill them. This is a little further along in history where voyage to the New World isn't necessarily going to kill you immediately, but it's still not exactly safe. Okay, whose house is this? Letter from Dr. Mindlaw, Boston, 13th day of February, 1689, to whom it may concern. My name being Elton Mindlaw, and a doctor here in Boston, I write this letter that you may accord the bearer one Miss Anne Wings, okay, it's the nurse from the fort, all consideration for useful employment within your company, although a single woman and plain... Why does this matter? Although a single woman and plain, Miss Wings has many fine attributes, mostly pertaining to the provision of care to the sick and wounded. She may be of use to your train band, or as port of first call should your townlands lack as yet a doctor. She speaks only when required, and then does so gently, but she is sharp and clever and knows her way around remedies and salves, can cook and clean, and has a strong stomach to boot. She is respectfully and sincerely, Dickhead. Letter from Erwin. Dearest Mistress Wings. Anne, how pleasant it was to hear from you. You'll be glad to hear, I hope, that the carpenter has turned me a wooden leg, and a fine peg it is, too. Anyway, I shall be up and dancing like a cack-footed cockerel before I know it. Shit-footed chicken. Okay. Perhaps, okay. Perhaps someday we shall dance together, as we talked about. Perhaps, and I hope this be not too forward, we might even marry. How, dude? Although I be of an age and tall, I am a foot shorter than most women would like, and I know it, but though young, you are wise and a kind and gentle soul, with such a good heart, that you did not look on me with disgust nor with pity, and that has stirred a warming in my heart. Come back to be Anne and be my wife. Pastor has helped me write this letter. It shows. Yours in respectful solicitude, Erwin. Well, he's shooting a shot, I guess. Probably have thought a bit more about it. Here we are. Anne Wing's Old Journal, 26 January 1685. Argue with Taunton over Hippocrates' theory of humours. The good surgeon in common visitation did not appreciate my contradicting him, but he is wrong. The treatment of the sick and wounded cannot be founded on classical principles evermore, not without challenge. Much good work is done in England and in Europe too, with Fatio and Fabry and Marie Collinet and others, but there are useful notions elsewhere. Araby in particular. Taunton sees himself as a learned Christian Englishman, but the cross sits over his eyes and ears. He cannot see the way ahead, and he will not hear the truth if it does not come from other learned Christian Englishmen. Ah, yes, a bigot. Or just English. Of the times. Okay, where was the schoolhouse? Is this the schoolhouse? That seems more like a schoolhouse than an actual house. Never mind. Witchcraft in New Eden by S. Pennington. About Deborah Comenius. Ever since we arrested her, the witch has been crying out her innocence and begging us to set her free. She says it's a mistake. Witches are like that. Lie makers. They are ready to do anything in order to deceive you and to please their dark lord. I set out to search her house. I found many books on many subjects, but also notes on the history of the area. I don't know why she did this. Looks like a study. Maybe she was planning to bring her sisters to take over New Eden. I think we've escaped the worst of it, but I still need to do more research. The study books I found look like ordinary books, but I'm sure they are coded, but they hide secrets, so you've no evidence. That's what we're going with here. Okay. I'll find out, and finally it will be over with these stories of witchcraft in New Eden. Okay, so we're in Pennington's house. Brother! I have little time to write and less inclination, but should I have the courage to post this letter, I believe it would please you to hear my news. You are likely unaware of my newest commission. I now captain the train band in the resettled colony of New Eden. Made a pleasant change and allowed me, or so I thought, time to devote to Grace, your niece. Alas, my daughter no longer lives at home. Bent as I was on my new responsibilities to the town train band, I allowed her the freedom to find her place here, and for some months all went well. The girl was growing into a young woman, modest and good. Some of the finer young men expressed an interest in taking her as a wife. Then, more recently, I noticed a note of resentment creep into her comportment. Her witty remarks, hitherto light and gentle, became barbed. Neighbours took offence, and soon so too, I admit, did I. My admonishments had no effect, dear brother. If anything, she worsened. And you kept doing it then. Okay. And then, and I can barely bring myself to write it, I learned why. I discovered her writing, drawings she had drawn, strange dolls she had constructed. Ashamed as I am to put the words on the page, I must admit, your brother, your niece gave herself to the devil. Right, she just got an education, but okay. And when I, outraged, calmly demanded explanation, I outraged, calmly demanded. Some of those words don't go together. She smirked, she laughed. I could hear the evil one in her soul and see him glint in her eye. I chased her from the house. I forbade her ever to return, and yet I was weak. I should have arrested her. I should have denounced her to the court, but she is even yet my daughter. Well, the next time I suspect such ungodly practice, I shall not be so lenient, and that is what happened to Deborah. Please, should Grace come to visit, be warned that she is a witch. Keep your beautiful family safe and send my daughter from your door in all haste, or smite her if you deign it needed. She is no more my daughter. She is no more Pennington. I'll not see her again, lest she bring the devil and his shame into my house. I advise you to follow my example and do the same. Cool. That's a cool father you got there. Ghost of War. For civilians, never-ending wars or long-lasting battles are just fancy words or concepts for history books and stories. Not all of them. Some of them are stuck there living it. But for any soldier or officer, it is a grim reality which resonates with pain and fear beyond exhaustion. Contrary to what most people believe, most battles are short and deadly. Troops meet, people die, victory is declared. To stand on a battlefield is exhausting for the body, the mind, and the nerves. I have never personally spent more than a few minutes, an hour at most, in a combat situation, and I cannot thank God enough to have survived without any major injuries. Then why do I so frequently dream of such never-ending battles? Away from my brain to let my deepest fears go at night, like some steam from a kettle? If only. Those dreams are awful and terrible. It's called PTSD. And I see myself standing forever on a rotten battlefield and unable to remember why I fight or who I fight, only animated by the burning desire to keep on killing. Okay, maybe not PTSD. And I stand there drenched in blood, desiccated and grinning like the horsemen of the apocalypse. Which one? 4 of them. Anyway, forgetting the reason why I ever started fighting, I'm forgetting about the idea of resting. Okay, probably war, right? If he's talking about war, it's probably that. When I wake up, I fear to touch my face and feel under my fingers the barren mask of death in flesh that I am when I sleep. These dreams are like another reality whispered by my brain and a dark depiction of my true self to come. Cool. Scoot under there. And the fact that is in fact where we're supposed to go. I get in to the inn. Near look like it. That's where we started the game, walking in here. Anyway. Scoot. Might be the last time we scoot.
After this, we should set sail somewhere warm and safe. The dead don't linger.
No such place. But it's not a bad idea.
What shall I say to you when I give you your assent?
I don't know.
All ghosts linger for a reason.
All right.
This is an odd kind of homecoming.
Tis strange to be back.
It's strange to sleep near the place where you died.
Still, rest you should. You'll need it.
I don't know that I can.
Come on. Spit it out.
Why did you come back? Ghosts linger for a reason. What was yours?
I do not know.
I don't know. We wanted to do this thing with the game, with a gimmick.
All right.
One of you was a
If you say
ghost.
so.
I told you to be careful. That night in this room, I told you to be careful. I worried you'd act rashly and told you not to. You got up and walked straight into her trap.
I thought you'd Gone to the meeting house without me.
I died to save you.
You stay out of anger.
Yes, I stayed because I was angry. Angry with you.
I think I've known that for a while now.
The anger lingers. Part of me resents you yet. For my pain and my fear. For my suffering. For my dying. I resent you.
Antea, I'm truly sorry.
I know you are. You've done your best to put things right. But I did die. And in a few short hours, you will have to let me go.
Okay, the last thing we can put points into, so we can either Spirit Warden. Banishing increases the damage of the next manifestation. Or Team Assist. Weak spot hits with the rifle trigger a punch attack. Go with Spirit. I don't think we'll see much of either, to be honest. So again, we are going for one particular ending, but the other ending, where we would resurrect Antea, presumably you would get different dialogue. Yeah, I'm angry that I have to save you or whatever, but also, we're gonna resurrect me soon, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
One wrong choice will exact a heavy price.
Whatever happens, we will face it. Till death do us part.
It's another way to go, it is, okay.
Possession incoming.
With us.
Also, that headshot killed that ghost straight away, so we didn't even get to see if it would have resulted with a punch.
You aim for the heart. I'll destroy the roots.
She won't let us in so easily.
A few roots will not stop us.
Okay. Heart. There's one. And there's two. Now it looks like there's only two, right? There's only two tentacles coming out of that. Should only be two of them. Watch there be three. Looks like there should only be two. See? Fucking knew it. Ah. Let's try this again. off, game.
Picked and culled.
No Eden suffers, we suffer. My friends, I have disturbing news.
I think
Among us walks.
the witch.
Is that not so, Deborah Comenius? Lock her up.
No! No! 'Tis not true! I am no witch!
So that's how it all began.
Aye. With ordinary evil from the hearts of fearful men.
Path to the meeting house is closed. That one already. Left or right? Game wants us to go left, so we're going right. And now the game wants us to go right. He tricked me. No barrel is safe. Except for those ones down that path. I'm not arsed. I'm not arsed going after them. Oh, hit the pot. Oh, I can't hit the pot. Not one of those types.
Deborah Comenius, this court finds you guilty of the devil's work. Guided by God's mercy, I pass sentence on the witch. Pain forte Dieu. Confess and name your accomplices, or die for your sins.
He's gonna die anyway,
I have
right?
nothing to confess.
How could they have let this happen?
Not a soul stood or spoke for her. There's no justice here. It's a travesty.
Okay. It's the heart. There's one down there. There's two. Okay, let's go under the assumption there's two. Even though I've been wrong every time I've done that so far.
Confess,
Enjoying
witch.
the target practice.
None
Like you
stand
needed.
for you. Your coven has betrayed you. Name them, and you shall live.
I am
Doubt.
no witch! You know this! All of you! Do not turn away from me! You must release me! You must! Will no one speak for me? Anyone? Please! Help me! Help me!
I feel her distress, her rising terror, her dark despair.
She's suffered enough. And so have we.
Left a rather glaring weakness in your fort, Deborah.
Here, my body, my flesh displayed like a trophy.
More like bait.
That's what I was going for. And out the window?
So, the circle is complete.
Trick.
Do you return to the beginning? Or is it the beginning of your return?
A paradox. How clever. How it pleases you to play with time.
I do not play.
Deborah, we know what happened to you. We know what they did to you.
What they did. What they do. I shatter yet.
We're not here to hurt you. You have my body and I want it back. That's all. Help us. Because we can help you.
No, you cannot.
Okay. Of course.
There is no escape!
I didn't have a gun last time. I do this time.
You can't reach me! Your luck won't last! You will pay! I won't spare you this time!
You got a bit more than this. Superman shit. Oh, god damn it, stop cheating. Alright.
You don't understand, do you?
My move.
There is no escape!
It's not you. It's you. Haha.
Petty Banishers!
Enough.
You are me, yet you oppose me. They murdered us. Make them pay.
No. They do not deserve our rage, not these two.
All deserve our wrath. They crushed the breath from us. You know this.
They went with that one.
You asked for this.
Not the fire one. Why does she look like she was set on fire then?
Not anymore.
It's over. You have been heard. The truth is out.
No! Come back! Feed upon the pain, the treachery, the outrage!
No more. It hurts.
Behold my wrath!
They will subdue you once more!
The pain need not go on.
Flung into a cage!
Okay, so we're using all of these against her?
No one stood for us!
Shit.
They started it!
Someone for the Harrows.
They turned their back on us!
Dang it.
Your rage cooked
Leave it to me.
Oh, he's nearly dead. Oops.
the terror! If they live, they win. All of them.
Enough pain now.
There must be a reckoning.
The pain may end right now. The reckoning is here.
Spare me your compassion, for it comes far too late.
Who are you?
Another demon type.
I am retribution.
A word. An idea. But who are you?
I am her fury.
No longer.
I am their nightmare.
You were.
You believe you've won. It will not be so easy. For I will end your dreams.
I mean, it's gonna be a little difficult since she's dead.
Is that an end to it?
Yes. If you want it to be.
Are you sure? In your hand you weigh my death, the last stone laid upon my broken body.
I'm so very sorry.
Will you leave? Are you ready?
I lingered so very long. Where now will I go?
If I can make a suggestion, go to Sex Heaven.
A better place.
Been
I
a Puritan your whole life. You can let loose at this point.
Quiet is good.
Deborah Comenius, mere words can ill describe your suffering. And if they could, I'd not utter them now. Enough wrong has been done you. Your tale is told, and we thank you for it. You are hurt, and free to go.
Bye.
Hey, I'm right here.
Aye, you are.
The time has come, and I must go.
That was the promise I made.
We've done good work here. We've made my death count for something.
Someday, we'll meet again.
Take all the time in the world.
Ah, but then I'll be old. I want an old guy.
I love you, Rory McGrath.
These years I've spent by your side have made me a better man. You've taught me to survive. You've taught me to live. Thank you. From my heart of hearts, thank you. Farewell, my love.
Death for the dead.
Life for the living.
Happened to the violin. I'll go to the moon, of course. So simple. Can't tell if the music is broken or unfortunately has no music. Pretty grim if it's intentionally not to have music.
If grief is an odyssey through hell, then what appears to be the end is often just the beginning. New Eden never recovered. For years, neither did Red. But in time, the pain of Antea's loss faded, and only the bittersweet beauty of their love lived on in his memory. Who knows? Perhaps, years from now, a legendary Scotsman, his hair grey, shall sit with his children and many apprentices and tell them a story. The tale of his beloved Antea. Of how she lived, and how she died, and how together, in New Eden, they lifted a curse and defeated a nightmare.
I think the music broke. I think that's what happens. Anyway. That's that. Banishers goes to New Eden. I think it ended a bit fast, honestly. I mean, once you hit the point of no return, I think they were in a bit of a rush to wrap everything up. Probably spent a bit of time roaming New Eden itself. I don't know. Not sure. Not sure how to think about that exactly, because you wouldn't want it to have stretched itself out. I guess it's a question of which is worse. Is it worse that it finishes quick, or is it worse that it takes its time? Takes too long, I'll say. I don't know. Ask your girlfriend. Anyway. Overall, I thought it was decent. You know, it has some issues. The combat is a little boring after a while. As you can see, by the end of it, you're quite powerful. Now, to be fair, I did drop the difficulty because combat was just taking too long. I did feel that some of the enemies end up being a bit spongy on the regular difficulty level. Particularly the big blob type enemies, they just take too long to kill. Bosses are a pretty good set piece. Not particularly difficult, but again, I don't think this game was setting out to be a difficult game exactly. A lot of the issues I had with Vampire are kind of present in this as well. You know, you've got questionable hit detection. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting hit by attacks that I shouldn't be getting hit by, and that kind of thing. It's better. It's better than Vampire. In that way. Like, mechanically, it plays better. It feels tighter. The combat is more enjoyable. I still prefer Vampire as a story, but that's personal bias. I just prefer Vampires, I guess. If I could make every game somehow have a weird vampire trait to it, I would. They were somewhat restricted to, you know, New England kind of thing, so that area, so the environment did feel a bit samey. Breaking it up into, you know, you have the woodland area, then you have the swamp, then the meadows, the farmland, and the kind of the snowy mountain. It's really only the mountain that felt different to the rest of them. You know, the woods and the farmland didn't actually feel materially different. Now, if you put them side by side, you'll probably see a huge difference, but they didn't really feel like it, I guess. And the swamp is a swamp. You know, it's whatever. I don't think I've ever... I can't think of any video game that's done a swamp that made me go, yeah, this is cool, I like this place. It's always horrible. Swamps are always terrible. Anyway, what else to say about it? A lot of the side quests were actually pretty involved. Decent story to them, worth doing. The epilogue parts of them, not sure they were needed. I do like the idea of checking back in with the characters. And it would be difficult to have like a fully featured or fully fleshed out case as the epilogue, because there's a lot of different ways you can resolve them. That's a lot of addition. Like, it's going to be a lot of additional work that the player may not ever see. You know, depending on the choices they make. You know, how many people would blame your woman who has domestic violence, you know, how many people would willingly banish the person who was, you know, unjustly murdered and that kind of thing. Like, some of them have more likely outcomes than others, is kind of my point. You pick up a lot of shit and a lot of materials that don't end up having much use beyond upgrading your gear. I do get the idea that they were kind of going for a Witcher thing with the Banishers. And the Witcher also has you collect ingredients and whatever, but you use it to make potions and buffs and that kind of thing. I wouldn't necessarily want them to go down that route, because then it makes them like pretty much just the Witcher at that point. But some other use for those things would have been nice. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of what it would be. It would have to be a crafting thing of some kind. The ritual thing where you have to pick the correct ritual to do the right thing is good. I do like that idea. I would have liked it to have been fleshed out. Maybe have the player perform the ritual themselves, or have to draw it out, or maybe the way they draw it out influences what happens in the scenario. Like, let's say it's a nest or whatever, and you have the usual nest symbol, but if you put an extra triangle in one spot, or you encircle one side of it or something, it gives you a buff, or makes it harder but you'll get more XP or something like that. I don't know. The idea that you just pick from a list, eventually you just kind of got to the point when, like, I know I'm not going to make a mistake at this point anymore. I know which one is going to do what. The void traveling was also pretty cool. The void itself was a bit felt they could have done more with it. It was only really at the end where they started playing with the idea of, non-Euclidean space and that kind of thing. And even then they didn't really do it. They just sort of just shut off corridors and opened up other corridors, and I feel like you could have done more with it, because it's a space where physics doesn't mean anything. But you could really mess around with that. I imagine they're somewhat hamstrung by the way the characters interact with the environments, where it has to match both, the regular map and the void maps, and everything kind of has to still play the same way. Otherwise, I know a lots of additional work and so on. So I get it. I do think the swapping between the two viewpoints, Antea and Red, they again could have done something more with that. They only really did one thing with Antea, was that she could see the kind of storm that was erupting out of the meeting house in New Eden, and Red couldn't see that. They also had it that Red couldn't see the demon form of Elendre, but Antea could. It wasn't until they joined that Red could see it as well. I think more could have been done with that. Having Red see one thing and having Antea see something else, and you having to swap between to kind of, get the full picture. Or, I mean, really, what I really, really wanted was you go the full Soul Reaver route and have the map just be completely different for Antea. Or have the map be mostly the same, really, because to be fair, in Soul Reaver, the map is mostly the same. But to have it, certain parts only Antea can get through, certain parts only Red can get through. Swapping to Antea actually changes the architecture of the surrounding area completely. Like, you haven't played Soul Reaver, you do swap between the incorporeal world. And the incorporeal world is like a ghost world, where again, physics doesn't really mean anything, and you can have whole buildings just kind of shift off to the side or warp and opened up, or pillars can kind of contort themselves to give you access to different locations and stuff like that. I kind of wanted them to go that far with it, and they didn't really. Kind of just puts a screen filter on for when you're Antea. And I think that was a missed opportunity. Not sure how, the release schedule must have affected them. Whether it was rushed or not. Like, it feels pretty fairly fleshed out. There's a lot in there that I can't necessarily say that should definitely have been there. Like, there are things that I think would have improved it. What else? think some kind of super sprint would have been nice as well. I don't know. Antea has like a very fast run where, you know, when you're having to go from one point to the next point and you're really just sprinting from one area of the map to the other area of the map, I do feel like if there's no fast travel involved, you could just change to Antea and just teleport the whole way, you know, just short range, just zoop all the way there, which obviously wasn't a thing. And again, it would probably break the game if you were to try to shoehorn it in now. And that's something that would have to be kept in mind from the beginning. But I do think Antea's like ghost powers could have been, I don't know. I guess you can have the idea that she still kind of fought like a Banisher, so her moves would have been still like a Banisher kind of thing. It's just more she could have done, you know? She's a ghost. She can fly. Why isn't she flying? Why can't she walk through walls? You know, that kind of stuff. Having them split up potentially could have been an issue as well. You know, having them actually operate as independent entities, which they don't really. Like Antea, when you're swapping to Antea, you are effectively possessing Red, I think is the idea. Doesn't necessarily look like that, but I think that's kind of the idea they're going for. Rather than you know, like Red doesn't go anywhere. He's still there. I guess it's difficult to tell. Maybe, I don't know if they could do it, but like flagging when areas of the map are part of a quest and you shouldn't forward them too much or investigate them too much until you're actually on the quest. Oh, they worked with Quantic Dream for the mocap. Interesting. They're both French studios, so that would make sense. Parisian based. Anyway, Banishers, Ghost of New Eden, pretty good. I do hope they do more with it. Kind of would have wanted a sequel to Vampire, if I'm being honest, but you know, it's decent IP. They did start going into more of the demonology end of things at the end of the game. And I would have liked to have seen more of that in the main game. You kind of only really got it at the end. Like the last 3 big things we did were demons. And one of those was a side quest. You know, it's really only the last 2. Like the last 2 bosses were demons. You know, Nukabe, whatever they were called, the Caliendre one, and Retribution feels like a Wrath style demon. Or an angel, potentially. Angel of Wrath as well. Could have gone either way, I suppose. Point is, they're an other entity that we don't know anything about, really. The Nightmare in general. I did like the callbacks to Vampire, like the Brotherhood of St. Paul Stole popped up a couple of times. None of it's like part of the main story. Something you would have had to have known already. So it's nice for people who have played their previous game would have got something out of that, like me. You want to, you can watch me play it over on youtube.com/Doom45 or play it yourself. Pretty sure it's on PlayStation Plus. Anyway, yeah, I'm again like I like Vampire. I wanted to see what they had done next. Banishers is what they did next. It's pretty good, decent. It's not you absolutely have to play this right now kind of thing, but it's got some good stuff going on it. Anyway, as you can see, you do not get to do a New Game Plus. You are shunted back out to the main menu, and if you do continue, it just puts you back at the final boss, basically, the last autosave. But I did say I was going to take a look at the trophies for people who are interested, so what is left? So obviously the Platinum, we're playing this on PlayStation. Death of the Journey is the other ending. Essentially, bring Antea back to life. So it's not, as you see, there wasn't even a choice at the end. The choice is made for you based on what you did in all the haunting cases and what you did in all the main cases. So did you... It's a question of how many blames did you do? And if the blames are more than 50%, I think, you get this ending. And if the blames are less than 50%, you get the other ending. We did 0 blames, so we obviously got the other ending. And percentage-wise, the other ending is higher. Most people seem to go for that one. Teacher's Pet, find 15 Bibles for Huge Bachelor. You're only required to find 5 for their quest. their epilogue quest, but there is a trophy if you just give him all of them. You can manage to find them. I think I'm up to about 9 now, so still got quite a few left to find. Counterattack is one of the combat ones that I haven't managed to do yet. Defeat 3 enemies with a post-parry attack. It's defeat 3 enemies, which is the annoying part. Because I've definitely, hit people with the post-parry attack. I've probably done it 3 times in one fight, but you have to actually kill them with the follow-up attack. A Farmer's Life, complete the same ritual site 10 times. There are a couple of ritual sites that you can do multiple times, over and over, and the intensity goes up every time. I have not done that. I think one of them was intensity 2, and we were somewhat forced to do that. But again, that would just be me doing literally the exact same thing 10 times. So anyway, I'm not sure you get much out of doing that. Defeat 50 enemies while fusion is active. Yeah, I did kind of reserve fusion for like big enemies, so that's why obviously that hasn't really happened. And then collect all the collectibles in New Eden. I'm reasonably certain I actually can't do this now without restarting the game. Because there are 4 collectibles in New Eden, and I'm reasonably certain you can't get them after the game, after the prologue, effectively, after Antea dies. I don't think you can get them anymore, so that one is that requires pretty much a full playthrough, so, or a full new playthrough at least. So Bookworm and Death is a Journey effectively require a second playthrough to get. Vampire had the same thing. It actually had even more than that, because every choice you made had its opposing trophy. We did get the platinum for Vampire. Not on stream. Did we get it on stream? Might have got it on stream, because I had played it before already with the good ending, and the one we did for the channel was the bad ending. Bad ending. I'd argue it was still a pretty good ending. For a super powerful vampire. I think it's fine. Anyway, that is it for my coverage, though, for Banishers Goes to New Eden. Potentially I'll come back for the other ending, but probably not, because there are a lot of games for me to get through. Tomorrow I will, as I was supposed to do today, I will get started on finish Alone in the Dark and move on to the other characters scenario as well. So we're coming up to effectively halfway through Alone in the Dark. But next week, something will have to take the place of Banishers for a full Let's Play. I'm probably going to go back to the Final Fantasy series playthrough that I've been doing, or the Resident Evil series playthrough that I've been doing. Probably Final Fantasy, because there's more of those games, and they're longer, so I really need to start making a dent in them. So Final Fantasy IV will probably be next, the first of the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom games. We've played all of the regular Nintendo ones, PlayStation 1, 2, or Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3. Again, if you want to check them out, they're over on YouTube. We'll be moving on to the SNES versions, so 4, 5, and 6. We go down the Resident Evil route. We have Resident Evil 0 to play that I have never played. It's the only main numbered Resident Evil that I have not played. So we'd be doing that, and then after that, we'd be going into the more action-focused ones, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, and then into the first-person ones, 7 and 8. And then the remakes we'll have to get to at some point. The only remake we haven't played on the channel now is Nemesis. Nemesis came out before Resident Evil 8, so it'll probably fit in there, where we'll slot it in. And with Final Fantasy, obviously, there's a lot. There's 16 of them, not including all the spin-offs. There's a lot. And Final Fantasy 14 is a giant MMO that's not finished yet, so yeah. Just gonna have to get started on that one. Anyway, that's it from me for this evening. Hope you enjoyed Banishers. I don't know what's going on with the camera. It seems to stutter every now and then. Curious how long it's been doing that, because I don't have my eye on it all the time. Anyway, as I said, I'll be back tomorrow with Alone in the Dark. So have a good evening, and hopefully I will see you then. Bye-bye.